All right. Good day, champions. This is Noble Mike Jamison dialed into you today for another episode of Game Time. We're here to discuss one of my favorite topics, which is what does it mean to be elite? So if you haven't had a chance to do so, please grab a notebook and pen. We're going to go through a lot of information on today's broadcast. So I like to start with referring to the definition of elite, because I think once we dissect the meaning of elite, and then we'll apply our connotation to it as well. So if you just go to Google and you just do a search for definition of elite, you will see that the very first noun description of this word says a select group that is superior in terms of ability or qualities to the rest of the group or society. This is pretty amazing when you think about the definition of elite, right? And so if we take a closer look at some of the key words that are described in this definition, I like to highlight a few. Okay. And the very first one I would like to highlight is the word select. It says a select group. Okay. Now, the reason why I want to highlight the word select is because you would have to think, or some would have you think, that people are selected to be a part of the elite, right? To be a part of the 1%. But I beg to differ. What happens is that people select themselves, right? See, it's up to you to decide if this is what you want or there is where you want to go. So when you say when it says a select group, okay, it's talking specifically about a group that has decided based off each individual that this is what they want to do and this is who they want to be. That's why I want to focus on select first. The next keyword we want to talk about is superior. Okay. Now, just by sheer definition of superior, you can see it says superior in terms of abilities or qualities. Now, obviously, when you think of superior, you're thinking about the absolute top, right? The absolute best. Okay. Superior, supreme, the best abilities, the best qualities. So it's extremely important that you understand that if you're going to be a part of this select group, then your abilities and your qualities must be supreme, okay? Superior, all right? Above average, all right? And I've heard definition of above average as being important, because if you are superior, that means you're the best of the worst. If you're average, let's go back to the word average, right? Average means that you're the best of the worst, but you're the worst of the best. So you're right in the middle, right? So you're the best of the worst, but you're the worst of the best. So we want you to be the superior, the supreme, the top, the best of the best when it comes to abilities, when it comes to qualities. It's important. Okay. And then the last keyword is to the rest of the group or society. Now, this is extremely important because now you have decided that you want to become elite. So therefore, you're going to select yourself to have these superior abilities, to have these superior qualities. And as a result of that, you're going to put yourself in a group or separate yourself from the rest of the group of society. Okay. Now, I am often remembered a story that I personally experienced. Right, I was in college, and I was very smart while I was in school, and I actually graduated with honors that I'm super proud of. Okay, but here's what I realized: even though I graduated magna cum laude with honors, I find myself being recruited, heavily recruited out of college. I had 3 job offers. This was 1997, by the way. Pratt and Whitney, Anderson Cooper Consulting, Daimler Chrysler, 3. I mean, I was heavily recruited because of my intellect upon graduating. And so what I realized that even though I was an A student, upon entering the workforce, I was an A student working for the C student. I want you to process that for a minute. I was literally the A student who was heavily recruited out of college because of my intellect, found myself working for the C student. So it was at that time that I realized that it's not always what you know. Sometimes it's who you know. And so I experienced what I like to refer to as the law of the lid in my corporate journey. Okay. And so obviously at this time, the A student working for the C student, a little frustrated with my career, making about mid 50s at the time, 57,000 perhaps, obviously. And but I wanted to check off my very first financial milestone, which was to earn 6 figures on my job. And I'm amongst peers that were already earning 6 figures. And I decided to get me a corporate mentor. And my corporate mentor sat me down and had a conversation with me. He said, look, right now you are engineer 1. There's 4 levels to engineering. That's engineering 2, there's engineering 3, and that's engineering 4, which is a senior engineer. You're an engineer 1. And he said to me, he was like, look, if you want to be an engineer 4 and you're at engineer 1 right now, then being an average engineer is not good enough. You want to be the best engineer on the planet. And it literally expanded my mind, right? He expanded my mind saying, listen, being an engineer is not good enough. Being good at what your job is not good enough. Being great at being an engineer 1 is not good enough. Because what has to happen is that your arms have to be bigger than the seat you hold. Follow me here. Your arms have to be bigger than the seat you hold. So if you hold the seat as an engineer 1, your arms have to extend beyond the responsibilities of an engineer 1, and you have to do the things of the engineer 2. Your arms have to be bigger than the seat you hold. And I had to expand what it was I was doing, not being a good engineer, but the best engineer, a superior engineer. And so he increased my lid and how I thought about things. And so as a result of that, I was able to go from an engineer 1 and engineering 2. Remember, your arms have to be bigger than the seat you hold. Engineer 3, engineer 4. So over 30 months, I was able to go from, right? I was able to go from the mid 50s to well over $140,000 in my corporate career because my lid was raised. And the philosophy says this, the principle says this: you have accomplished all that you're going to accomplish with the knowledge you currently have. You have accomplished all that you're going to accomplish with the knowledge that you currently have. Because if you were going to accomplish more with the knowledge that you currently have, you had already done it. But because the knowledge that you have can only take you so far, you've done the best you could do with what you know. So your lid has to be raised in order for you to fill in that gap to go to the next level. And that's the elite principles that we're talking about right now, because we want you to select, meaning you decide that this is what you want to be superior, and this is what you want to become, so you can separate yourself from the rest. Okay. And so for us, the elite principles is actually an acronym. You follow that? The elite principles is actually an acronym. And I'm going to share with you today exactly what this acronym means to us. Okay. The E in elite, the first E in elite is for edification. The L is for leadership. The I is for integrity. The T is for teamwork. And the E is for excellence. Okay. Let's break this down. Edification. What does it mean? All right, I got some definitions here we're going to go through, but I'm going to talk a little bit about each of these bullet points, just a little bit, so you can understand and expound on each of them. Edification: always esteem others better than yourself. Always esteem others better than yourself. Learning and participating learning and practicing this principle, yet powerful principle, will help you conquer your fears and realize your fullest potential. Listen, in short, always speaking highly of others. It's a fact that negative news travels 17 times faster than positive news. So if you don't make it a point to speak highly of others, you'll be constantly surrounded with negativity, just on the sheer numbers. Let's take a look at the next, the L, leadership. Leadership is cultivated through personal development and is a quality exhibited throughout the organization. Where there's no vision, the people will perish. Leadership, in short, doing what you say and saying what you do. We all know that leadership is influence, but at the end of the day, you do what you say and you say what you do. You lead by example. I always share with our leadership team a principle that I picked up through personal development of a military analogy, which is you can never spot the general because he's working like a soldier. He's in the trenches. He or she is in the trenches, right? Getting it in. That's what leadership is all about. Okay. Leadership is all about integrity. The I is integrity. By definition, this word means the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. Let me repeat that. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. This network places a high value practice. This network places a high value practice this virtue and demonstrating it often. Okay. So integrity, in short, is you being honest. Okay. Keeping to your word, be impeccable with your word, as is said in the 4 agreements. Okay. Be impeccable with your word. Can people trust you? All right. Do you follow through with the things that you say you're going to do? Can you be counted upon to deliver? All of those things are important. Okay. What about teamwork? Teamwork. Championships are won by teams more often than individuals. Did you know that? Championships are won by teams more often than individuals. We use our collective gifts to further the team's agenda, meaning, yes, you're going to be a designer original. Okay. You're going to be a designer original. We want you to be you, but we want you to be a carbon copy of our systems and philosophies. So yes, we want you to be a design original. We want you to be flamboyant if you're flamboyant. We want you to be reserved if you're reserved. We want you to be charismatic if you're charismatic. We want you to be you. We want you to be a design original of yourself, but we want you to be a carbon copy of our philosophies and our agenda, right? The team, what the team is looking to accomplish. And by doing so, we achieve individual success when the entire organization achieves. So therefore, we like the motto, we are a unified body of one. We are a unified body of one. Isn't that amazing? Okay, the last E in elite is excellence. Look at the definition. It's amazing. This team prides itself on establishing and maintaining, listen to this, a standard of professionalism that is reflected in everything we do. A standard of professionalism in everything we do. First class is the only class. And so in other words, when you put forth an effort, you want to not only put forth your best effort, you want it to reflect professionalism. Your brand is professionalism. Social media, professionalism. Conference call, professionalism. Meetings, professionalism. A spirit of excellence in everything we do. In everything we do. And if you can practice these simple things, these simple elite principles, then you're going to be elite. You're going to separate yourself and put yourself in that top 1%, okay? By being, having edification, showing great leadership, operating with integrity, participating in teamwork, and having a spirit of excellence every single day. That's who we are, and that's what we do. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another Game Time episode with your guy, Noble Mike Jamison. Appreciate you for jumping on. Take care and take charge.